What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we're live. It is 7:05, September 21st on a Thursday. I think there might be football going on, but all right, let me copy and paste this link here. The link that I'm posting on Facebook and YouTube is a link to join the stream. So if anybody would like to hop on and chat with me one-on-one, feel free to do so. We're going to wait for some folks to come on in. And we will begin. So yeah. What I got in the kennel now, let's see. I still have the Chow. Still have the mini golden retriever. She's actually a Labradoodle, but looks just like a mini golden retriever to me. Anyway, those of you who just joined, feel free to ask any question that you like. I'm here until at least 8 o'clock or until questions run out. So feel free to join. Who do we have here? Rick. Hey, what's up, Instagram? Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. This is dog training Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Let's see how we add somebody. Hey, Rick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
So what do you got for me?
Okay, so actually I got a dog from Mid-Liebe German Shepherd Rescue, and I know you do a lot of work with them.
Yep.
And so they told me about you, and now you just popped up on my screen, so I thought I'd just talk for a minute.
Sure.
I have a German Shepherd Husky mix. She's a great girl. With my grandkids, they can pull on her, do everything. But one thing she gets is like she has super high prey drive. Okay. So like if there's a rabbit out in the yard, she'll devour that thing in minutes. Okay. And I can't get near her when she does that. The other night she caught a possum, and my wife and I were trying to get her away from her, and she would not let us near her. I mean, any other thing, I can take food away from her, I can take her dish away from her. Yeah. I can do anything until it's a wild animal. Yeah. And she literally scared my wife the other night and we've had her for a couple of years. Yeah. So she's not new, Yeah. She's the most loving dog ever. But it's just that prey drive so then when I was talking to Sandy from Mid-Liebe, she's actually my sister. They had talked about maybe doing some e-collar training. Yeah. And I'm not opposed to e-collar training. It's just at all, actually. I actually owned an e-collar at one time. It's just I need to find somebody that trains it right, that I can know how to utilize it, because that's what gives e-collars such a bad name, right? Sure. If you read on e-collars, right, so many people are opposed to them because people just, I think people just use it and they just drive it into the dog. They just keep pressing that button, and it just makes the dog even more upset. Sure. So and I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that with that prey drive. We could not get near with that possum the other night. I tried. I had a shovel. I was going to get the possum from her. Yeah. My wife had just a stick that we were going to try to get it away from her, and she like attacked that stick. And then finally, she got the possum up by the door, like she's going to bring it in the house. And she either loves or hates the hose. She'll attack the water. So we got the hose out enough to get her off that possum. The possum took off, and then after that, she was fine.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, resource aggression, man. What you want to be able to do is really proof the command, your leave it command or your out command.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can do it a couple ways. You don't have to use the e-collar, but I'll explain how to do that too. So, the first thing, when a dog is possessing something like that and it doesn't want to let it go, this and that, what you should do is, here's the first attempt, the one without the e-collar. So when she's outside, you leave a leash on her and let her drag it and let her go to the bathroom, whatever. And if you see her doing that, then you can use the leash and you can get her head above, like from hovering the ground. So their head is usually hovering the ground like that. If you can get the dog to sit, then they become a little, well, not a little, quite a bit less aggressive about it if they're in a sit.
Okay.
So anytime I'm teaching a dog resource aggression, and I want something that they have, yeah, like I said, they'll become less aggressive with it if you can get them in a sit. So that's the first thing. So what you could do is grab the leash, obviously, and try and just pull her up until she sits. And then you can try to grab it from her mouth. But if you're trying to grab it while her head is already hovering over it, she's definitely gonna get ugly for that.
Right.
But yeah. So bottom line is the dog has got to learn what leave it and out means, and what you can do to start is, if the dog likes anything that it doesn't get nasty over, you can start really practicing with that too, and getting the dog to understand that when you say out or leave it, it must drop it, and you can train your dog to do that, because I used to work with police dogs for about 5 years, and we had to get these dogs to obviously let go.
Right.
So yeah. So the other thing you can do is yeah, absolutely, you can use the e-collar, because it's not about what the e-collar does to the dog. It's about what your commands are and your dog choosing to listen to your commands. That's it. It's no different than a leash, to be honest, on a approach level. When you tell your dog to sit and doesn't sit, you use your leash to help it sit. And it'd be the same philosophy with the e-collar. And obviously you want to be as gentle as possible with it. But for a lot of stubborn dogs, especially huskies, sometimes they need a little bit more than the average just dog.
Right.
They're just strong. So yeah, I would be willing to, if you want to set up a private lesson, we can definitely help you there. And I can show you what I'm talking about. And I can even bring one over before you decide to buy one and test it out and see how she does with it. But yeah, that's about it. Bottom line, dog has got to know what leave it means, and also the dog should also respect the fact that when you walk up on something, she should be the one to back away, not trying to make you back away.
Okay. Right.
So there's that's a little bit like of a dominance issue. But never stick your hand down there. If you're wanting to do that, use a rake or something to try and discourage her doing that. Here's the one thing you can do if you could tag team it is use a rake or something that you could pin it down, and then the other person grabs the leash and pulls her away. Because if you get it away from her, like you said, she's fine.
Right.
It's all about getting it away from her. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that private lesson thing. I've heard a lot of really great things about you. So,
thanks, man.
Not to blow your ego up or anything, but I'm just saying.
Appreciate that. Yeah. No, what you can do is what I'll do is I'll message you the calendar, and feel free to sign up for a date and time that work for both of you.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, man. I
Hey,
appreciate
awesome.
you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for chiming in, and feel free to ask more questions, bud.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. That's cool. Thank you, Rick, for that. I love that. It's kind of like a better way to do an interview. All right. So there's 14 of you in here. Please ask questions. Oh, I do know that we have questions that have been asked on Facebook. So let me hop on Facebook real quick here and get those questions answered. But meanwhile, guys, feel free to ask questions. No question is a dumb question. And you can ask more than one question. Also, if you want to come live and chat just like Rick did on YouTube and Facebook, just click the link in the comment section and chat with me one-on-one. It's kind of cool because it's kind of like what I do when I'm on the phone. You know what I mean? I really like I really like chatting with folks. Okay. All right. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Why are they making me do a new password? That's crazy. Okay, here we go. Comment on one of your posts. My dogs have made so much progress since it's been female only house and we came to Green Bay. Well, good. As long as your dogs make progress, I don't care how you do it. All right, let's get to these questions, eh? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, one of my dogs knows when it's bedtime or time for me to go to work and runs from me. It's a game now. But enough, child. Yeah. So what the simple fix would be to leave the leash on the dog. You know, you don't have to leave it on all day, but leave it like put it on like 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed, or not, you know, not even an hour. That may work too. And or you can trick the dog by acting like you guys are going to go outside, and then you can grab the dog by the collar and you go into your crate. Yeah. Try those things. Okay. Pat says, well, let's see here. There we go. All right. Pat says, is someone is looking for training for a deaf dog on e-collar. Is that something you do? Yes, it is something that I do. Training a deaf dog on an e-collar is interesting because they don't really need to hear. I mean, it's more of a feel thing anyway for all dogs. But some dogs do really well if they can just feel, and that includes, you know, recall, downstay, sit, quiet, all those things. So yeah. Okay. I got Gracie in a downstay on a walk with tons of people, and she just calmly observed. Good. That's awesome. Good for you guys. Okay, Lindsay says, why does my puppy get along with a dog at daycare, but when I brought her to the dog fenced yard, she was really growly and kept running to the fenced gate to get away? When you brought her, when I brought her to the dog fenced yard, um, well, I don't know. There's definitely dogs tend to act a little bit more bratty when they're with their owner than when they're not. That's why you'll see a lot of vets take your dog back to examine them or do what they need to do with them because, yeah, they tend not to be uh, a little less, they tend not to be aggressive, as aggressive. Now, some dogs don't care who it is, where it is, and that, but um, yeah, that's kind of a theory, but it's proven to be true for other people too. So here's what you should do. The next time, if it's a dog park, what you could do is just walk around the perimeter of the dog park and just kind of ignore her, you know, or give her the impression that you're going to ignore her. And obviously, if you are, um, don't let don't don't let her get in between you and another dog. She might get a little possessive of you. Um, but kind of how we used to do with socialization, what we would do is get dogs in a big yard, tell their owners to walk around the perimeter of the yard and not no touch, no talk, no eye contact with your dog. And either the dog kind of walks behind you and then maybe eventually mills in and plays, and then they can always come back and walk with you. I found some very good success with that. Could it have been maybe just that one bad experience? Um, Maybe it was just one dog. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but yeah, that's what I would do if you want to take her to the dog park. Just walk around the perimeter of the yard and just ignore her. Let her know that you're ignoring her. Um, Obviously, you should keep an eye on her. But yeah. All right, guys. Those of you who just joined in on Facebook and Instagram, please feel free to ask me any question that you like. You can also join on Instagram. I forgot about that. So you can join on Instagram and you can join on Facebook if you'd like to talk to me face to face. Yeah. Okay. How to establish boundaries for a prey-driven dog. I've been using Leave It, and it works 60% of the time. So I would say the best thing for a prey-driven dog to learn is how to control their prey drive. And I think that if we teach them how to become calm around the things they become prey-driven about, then it'll help them decide whether they indulge or not. So if the prey drive is outside, one of the things I like to do is walk the dog to the middle of the yard or just outside the door, doesn't matter. But you walk the dog with the leash or grab his collar and slowly walk out to where you're going to walk, and then put the dog in the sit. And the dog should sit until it gets bored. It shouldn't sit and then get up right away. It should just sit and then just kind of take a deep breath. And then once that dog is nice and calm, then just let go. But again, what you're going to be doing is helping that dog work through whatever it's impulsive about. Wherever it's impulsive about, whatever it's impulsive about, it just needs to learn to be steady wherever those are. Because prey drive can be mistaken for reactionary behavior. And what doesn't your dog leave 40% of the time? You said you've been using Leave It and it works 60% of the time. So what is it that your dog's not giving up 40% of the time? Okay. So Joe says, can you talk about how to introduce a reactive dog to people and other dogs? Reactive dog to people and other dogs. Yeah. So the dog has got to know that you can control them. So it trusts you. And then the dog has got to know that you can control other people and other dogs. So it doesn't have to. And it can also trust you. So two of those things have got to be 90% of what happens. Because if your dog can or does feel that it needs to take control, or that it has the freedom to take control, then it will do so. But my approach is a little bit different. I think most dogs have to feel like they're not the center of attention. I think a lot of dogs and people struggle because they can't say no enough. How how do we get a dog to be respectful of boundaries of respectful of the outside world if they can't respect the boundaries that we put forth for them inside the home? That's where you teach respect. That's where you teach humility. We got to say no. If your dog is reactive to other people and dogs, I'm willing to bet that we're not saying no enough to our dogs when it's just really convenient to say yes, because it doesn't matter. But remember that what you allow to happen when it's real easy, all that time spent together, when it's real easy to be, oh, he's make excuses for the dog as to why you won't stay strong on your boundaries. I'm not talking about you, Joe, in particular. I'm just talking in general. But if it's still acting up, the dog needs more no's in its life. We have to build that trust. We have to build that respect. If my dog can't control themselves, if I can't trust my dog to listen to me when I say, go lay down, when I go to the door and let people in, then one, It can't handle the freedom of being out when guests come over. Or two, I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough training. So, yeah. That's about the thrill of it, man. It's if Brody is one of the bros. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Those of you who just joined in, feel free to ask me any question you like, or you can chat live with me by clicking on the link in the comment section, and you can have a conversation with me one-on-one. Instagram, you guys can do so as well. All 0 of you. Instagram. All right. Okay, Carrie says, wondering about how to best introduce my big dog to my mom's puppy. How to best introduce my big dog to my mom's puppy. Keep the puppy on leash. Keep the puppy on leash and let your dog come up and let your dog walk away when it wants to. Do not let the puppy just go up to your dog, overwhelm it, annoy it. And it depends on the age of the puppy, because some puppies do need to learn boundaries. Yeah. That's what I would do. Simple solution. Keep the puppy on leash. Let big dog off leash. Let the big dog come in. You know, if the dog gets annoyed, maybe not, maybe it doesn't. Maybe they play. But still, keep the puppy on leash. Even if they're playing and they're being all jolly. Again, I'm maybe just taking it to the extreme, but to guarantee success, I'd tell you that you keep the puppy on leash, and you give the big dog grapes. You give the big dog breaks of puppy energy. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate your question, Carrie. Feel free to ask another. Okay, you're very welcome. All right. Our deaf dog hates at times when we grab her collar, and is 50-50 playing, mouthing, and snapping a bit. She thinks it's all games, but even when I spray her, she goes nuttier. I have a short collar, but by the time I get one, she's already been naughty. So what do you want? What are you wanting to improve? Because it looks like, yeah, I'm not sure what your question is. Type in that question. Let me help you out. See if I got them all on Facebook. Yeah. Okay. You know, I got that chow, guys, that I was telling you about last time. And she has finally started to wag her tail. Boy, chows are just different, man. I think dogs that are sort of like Asian bred or have that Asian background and come from there, come from that part of the world, not just Asia. But those dogs are just so independent. They're just so, you know, just kind of got a more of a dog that stays outside kind of attitude. And I'm not saying they don't like to be inside. I ain't really crazy about saying that, but you know, chows, Akitas, Shiba Inus, they all have this very similar, uh, very similar temperaments. They only like their family. Not really crazy about dog play, even though I've seen them play. Akita, Chow, Shiba Inu. They all got that curly tail. They're all pretty tough to read, by the way. They just don't have a lot of emotion, not too much. And then our American bred dogs, man, they're just like happy all the freaking time. The labs, the golden retrievers. They are yeah, they're a lot more outgoing, spontaneous than that, and they're easy to train that way. But it seems like chows and that they just, I don't even know. All right. Major is thinner and hasn't had an outburst in a year and a half. Wow. There was a girl was talking to me, got too close, and out of nowhere he lunged. I guess he needs a refresher. Yeah, probably. Probably. All right, Rick, what e-collar do I use? So currently I use 2 collars. The Dogtra, it's here, I'm going to post it in the comment section so you can see, because it's funky spelling. Dogtra 180 with the digital dial. Dogtra 180, and then the e-collar. What model is it? ET300? Yeah. Okay. E-collar ET300. You can type both of those, or is it? Yeah, ET300. You can type both of those in Amazon, and then the one that comes up is the 2 that I like. The Dogtra 180 has 150 levels, and then the e-collar from e-collar Technologies has 100 levels. So those are the 2 that I use the most. And they're top notch. They'll last as long as you need to. So there you go, buddy. All right, guys. Feel free to ask me more questions, guys. I was talking chows, and I was talking Akitas. I've had an Akita and a chow, like almost back to back, and I haven't had that in years. So I did a seminar for a vet down in, I ain't gonna name it, but it was down in Kiwani. Yeah, Kiwani. I get Kiwani and Kokana mixed up. Kiwani, I think, is both of them by the water. Anyway, We talked about strategies for how to handle certain scenarios when it comes to aggressive dogs in their field, and they are kind of stuck. You know, I advise them because one of the things a lot of vets do is acknowledge the dog right away. And well, that just kind of sets the wrong tone. All right, we got a question coming in. Angie says, I have a 4-year-old British lab that whenever someone comes over, barks and growls, but he's not mean. He even does it to my parents, who have come over a million times. How do you break him of that, but not altering that someone is here? So yeah, your goal shouldn't be to break it. I mean, I don't think you can. I don't really know if you can stop a dog from barking when someone knocks on that door. But what you can do is help. What you can do is teach the dog to be quiet after, after after that first 2 barks. But yeah, give him something to do. And the easiest thing to teach is go lay down on its bed. He quits within a minute. Well, if a minute is too long for you, then again, go ahead and give him something to do. And again, the easiest thing is to say, go lay down. And now you practice with you can just practice whether it's just you or if someone else comes through the door. If anyone else lives there, you can practice that. But dog needs to be guided when the door is opened or touched, or the doorbell is rung, or if you knock on the door, the dog needs direction right then and there instead of allowing the dog to come up. Even when you guys come home, again, he needs to not be pet because you're maybe for 4 years you've pet that dog that came running at you at the door, and then that just created such a strong behavior pattern that it may take a while, especially for a lab that's 4, to convince him that I've been able to indulge in this for a while. Now you're telling me I can't. Might take a little bit, but use your leash if you need. But make it easier on them if you start implementing it when you guys come home. Well, you didn't fail him. He ain't too old. He ain't, he's not even like considered like, a full grown adult. So you got time. And if he's smart, he can get it rather quickly. But what you have to do is again make that door less interesting for him. Yeah. So use his intelligence against him. When you say go lay down and stay, if he's smart, he'll do that. He'll choose to do that over indulging in his impulse to just go straight to the door. So yeah, that's what you could do and try. Yeah. Thanks for your question. Feel free to ask another. All right, guys. Oh, let's get some last questions in. Hey, I'm pretty tired today. I should do these on like a Wednesday or a Friday, the days that I work out. Seems like when I work out, I have more energy. But today I'm dragging. You know what? Okay. So yeah, I'll just wrap it up with this, y'all. I had a little bit of a post that made people uncomfortable. And I think it is important for me to at least be a little bit more specific. First of all, I don't post things to make people uncomfortable. I do, however, promote what I think would be best for dogs. And if my posts do make you uncomfortable, I apologize. But that's not going to stop me from sharing with you guys my 17 years of observation, of data collection. I think I'd be doing the dog world a disservice if I didn't share what I thought would help overall. So that's what I'll say about that. I'm going to keep posting, and I want people to, and that's fine that you disagree. As long as you're respectful, I will engage in dialogue with you. But if you come out of the gate being disrespectful, I'm not going to engage with you. So I think, the most disrespectful people are dog trainers, which is crazy. Other dog trainers. It's like, bro, you have a problem with me, inbox me. Don't try to correct me. That's not what professionals do. You can have a difference of opinion. But what other profession do they go on each other's page and disrespect them? This page isn't for dog trainers. My page is for dog owners. And dog trainers never agree with anything. So I'm going to keep sharing. If you like to talk about it in good faith, I don't post anything without thinking it through very, very much. So I'm very careful with certain things. So, all right, guys, I appreciate all of you watching. Thank you, Angie, for that comment. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys chiming in, conversing with me. Yeah, we'll try and do another one next week. I appreciate all of your time, and you guys have a great Thursday and weekend. Go Pack.